Well, welcome to the podcast today. I'm Rabbi Rod from West Coast Cast. I'm not really under the weather. I'm just thankful for the cottonwood. How about it? Well, welcome to the podcast, and I really have a great guy. I want to say, honestly, somebody that you might have noticed out on the streets as you're driving by Covington or Kent or somewhere here locally in the area. I want to introduce one of my good friends, brother, and member of the congregation, James. And James, it's such a pleasure. I guess your alias is James the Litter Man, and such a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Man.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So I was thinking about a piece of scripture that just might relate to what you do, and I mean, it's a powerful piece of scripture, but I want to say it's really fitting for what you do. And I was trying to think, what am I going to title this program? And unselfish volunteerism, or how about just a man about town? And James, that's you, brother. But there's a piece of scripture from Matthew 25, verses 35 through 40, and it goes like this. And I want to say, for me, this fit you. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Truly I say to you, as you did it for one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did it for me. I want to say that's you, man. It's not just the fact that, you find ways to make our cities more beautiful, and you're really all over the area, but you find ways to help people along the way. And your story's amazing. And I think the first time we actually met, you were on the road, man. You were cleaning up around here, around this city. And that was just incredible. And it's like, man, what you do is just incredible. And I think that's actually how we met. Well, I was watching you, serve your fellow man and clean up the city. And what a great way to meet somebody. Yeah, we noticed, man. We noticed you out there, and it's a better world because of you. Yeah, welcome to the podcast, James.
Thank you. I've met a lot of great people out there, too. There's a lot of people out there in the community that are doing what I do, and others, that appreciate it. So.
Man, maybe you want to share a little bit about your life or a little bit about your story. And we have some video that I'd like to share just so they can kind of see you in action and really see what you do, because you're kind of soft-spoken in so many ways. I mean, you don't blow your own trumpet, and
I tend to keep everything to myself, reserved. That's the way I've always been. I used to be really shy. I used to not be able to do stuff like even this, but I've opened up over the years. But it's just I just do it for myself, and for the community. I don't, expect nothing in return.
So you're not new to video, and we're going to take a look at some of the video of you working out in the community. And so I want to say this is a homeless camp, but before we show it, this is probably your first podcast, isn't it?
Yes, my first podcast. I've actually just started the Sunday before this last Sunday. It's been 9 days that I've started my YouTube channel that I've actually started. And I just started doing this in January, the volunteer cleanup.
Wow.
Before that, I was volunteering in other positions in the Seattle area.
I only know one other person that does what you do, and to the extent you do it. And she's a good friend of mine. She actually works here for this city.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I speak with her and worked with her too.
Jennifer.
Yep.
She's one of the unsung heroes of this community.
She's the one that got me into this community, because I was doing it on my own until I actually ran across her and found out that they have a program in this community, to do this. So.
Jennifer Leeds is her full name, and I don't mind talking about her. Lead, yeah. She is, she's incredible.
Yep.
And I've known her for a lot of years, and whenever I see her, I always try to have something for her, and I say hi to her. And I'm sure you get a lot of honks and waves as people drive by, and it's like everybody appreciates what you do. James, maybe you want to share a little bit, and then we'll kind of walk in maybe some video. We can kind of take people into really what you do. And you know, it's in a way of explanation. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. But man, it's an incredible story, and I'm so excited to share your story with our audience today. And so, again, welcome to West Coast Cast, and it's a pleasure to have James as my guest today.
I've always been a volunteer and always been a giving person all my life. Everybody that knows me knows that I've always been into volunteering. It's just before this, I was a clean and sober transition house manager, which was a volunteer position. It just gave you a place to stay basically, but all the work was volunteer. So I'd manage up to 10 guys, helping them get clothing, get jobs, find resources. When they move out, what they needed to help them, get established. And after I got done with that, it's like, what do I do now? So I had basically invested, a little over 10 grand in doing this with the bike, the trailer, and just something I felt called to do.
That's a big investment. Did anybody help or encourage?
No, I just something I knew I wanted to do because I've always been into volunteering, and I wanted to do this aspect of volunteering while I was living in Seattle, which is where I moved from.
Yeah.
Because I was with another group I'm a follower of on Facebook that does this on a huge scale, and I health issues at that time I couldn't do it. Then when I moved here, it was like, okay, well, I was getting better. I can do this. I have the ability to do it. Let's buy the equipment. Let's just do it.
So you actually weren't well when you started this, but you were looking for a way to give back.
Yeah,
What a
I was
way.
before. I don't know if, well, I'm not sure about mentioning this part, but before the end of the year, I was on up to 19 medications.
Wow.
I was on pills. I just, because I have a traumatic brain injury and I've got daily issues. This actually helps me, and that's a lot of besides being able to do it for the community. Some of the reason I do it is just mind over matter, the breathing, the doing it helps me feel better for some reason. When I get motivated, it just takes my mind off of the other daily issues I deal with.
Man,
So
that
I
is
just,
amazing.
so I just use it as, something I have to do daily to get out and, improve the community and improve myself.
You're a prime example of that. Helping others helps you, and
Yep.
it may heal you too. And
It has. I mean, I'm a lot better than I was. I mean, even up until the end of last year, my health has gotten better. Just allows me to do a lot more.
I want to say one of the things that's amazing about you too is you're a guy that's not afraid to get his hands dirty. So a lot of people, either when their health is declining or their situation changes, they're going to do other things, and some people just stay at home. But that wasn't you at all, man.
No.
You just put on a pair of work gloves and invested $10,000 into really something that you wanted to see change. And but man, what you've invested in people's lives—that's incredible too. So, man, you're not a politician. You don't run a nonprofit with a six-figure, budget. You're just a man who serves the Lord and serves the community and serves more than just Covington. It's Kent. It's stuff you did.
Sometimes I'm in Auburn.
Sometimes Auburn.
Yeah.
And I know that everybody appreciates you, and there's not a city here that doesn't need you at some level, and the people that are there. So we're going to find out a lot more about what drives you, James, and and what encourages you and helps you do what you do for all of us. And so we're so appreciative for what you do and why you do the things that you do. And I want to play maybe just some of the equipment that you use and kind of your process of packing it up. And Mike, if you want to kind of run us back to this one right here. Yeah, and we'll kind of walk through maybe some of what you've got to do in order to prepare for each day. And it's funny, we talked about that before the program, and it's a process, and it's not an easy one. You have to be prepared when you go out. You can't go back to the shop and go get it. So
No. I call it my homework when I get home. Everything I got to do to prepare for the next day.
and walk us through this, and then we'll just let the video speak for itself.
And ready for another day.
That's actually just extras. Usually that's paper on there to keep notes for anything with the city of Kent. If I need to make a note of anything. This is my board for the city of Covington. They both are on magnetic releases, just like my whiteboard, which if I need to carry around with me to make notes or anything. Trash bags, more huge trash bags, marker pens, dry erasers. I can write on all this as a whiteboard too. Ice container, 2 lunch containers, extra spare water bottle, camera gear, pretty much for the photos and extra locks. Then I keep extra towels, 4 water bottles, some smell goods, disinfectant wipes, and Huggies. I buy them by the case. I use them for everything, from cleaning the house to cleaning the bike. They're already moist. You don't have to have water with you. Perfect thing. Drink mixes for the water bottle and extra different kinds of snacks and silverware for any of the stews I may bring. Emergency road flares that are battery operated, spare batteries for the tools, for the 6-inch chainsaw and for the automatic loppers. Then hand sanitizer and mosquito and tick repellent. That pretty much covers it. I mean, I'll eventually add some more stuff. I've got other stuff that goes in here, but it's all being charged up right now. That's where the camera gear gets stored. And then there's 2 more buckets that sit on that seat that are down behind me. I'm actually using them to clean, because I change often between truck mode, which is with this all the way forward, like you'll see in some videos where it sits forward, or rickshaw mode, where I can pull the couple of buckets off right there and have an extra seat. Throw the buckets in the back if I need to, or which actually helps at the end of the day when I can need to shove a bunch of garbage bags. I can stack all the empty buckets together and put that one inside of them, have 1 row of just buckets, and put extra trash bags, garbage bags I'm taking home to haul. I've got a small collection so far going. When I get a full
cool.
trailer load, then I haul. Oh, and I gotta say, when it comes to boom boxes, this is the thing. W King. Their battery is outrageously phenomenal. I can go days without charging this thing, whereas my other one, I could go 4 or 6 hours. This thing, I don't run out of tunes. Everybody loves the air horn, the train horn.
Gotta have them gospel tunes.
And then I got me a little mini lunchbox just in case I need to keep something cold, sodas, or on the way back from the store. This was the tripod mount that failed. It feels tight here. It's a little tight, but with a 10-foot selfie stick on it, it fell over and slammed my camera to the ground. And then this is the backside where everything gets...
You really have a lot of equipment on the back of your trailer.
Yeah.
And then I got a 1-gallon gas can with mix and a gas blower and some brake tools down below. It's always an ongoing process because I find different things I like. I love to keep things organized, and I find different ways, or got to add different things. Or the newest one I had to add was the chainsaw, because I went to clean up a campsite and that just wasn't gonna do it. But this thing is awesome, as I don't like to use, if I got to do a bunch of clipping, hand clippers just take forever. Anyways, y'all have an awesome night. I am going to relax. I got tons of things to still do to be prepared for tomorrow. Good night. God bless you all.
Wow, that's incredible, James. I want to say it's time for some applause.
How's it going?
but,
I'm Jared Gillett.
but you're really a guy that, it's not the applause that you do this, but it's the help to the people. And I got to say, every day our cities around this area are so much better as a result of what you do. Yeah. Anything else on that video? It's a lot to prepare, and you actually were showing us that, and then you're going to prepare, get ready for the next day, and then you got stuff to load for the next day too.
Yep. It's always homework. Get home, get everything ready, loaded for the next day, and then the next morning, you still got to get things ready. You know, things that have to be at the last minute. Unplug the chargers, make the soups, add the ice,
Yeah.
everything. You know, make sure all you have your garbage bags, everything you need for the day.
Do you find yourself sometimes feeding people? I saw protein bars and water.
Yeah. I keep a bunch of different stuff on there, different kinds of protein. There's like 4 or 5 different types of snack bars, several different each ones. And yeah, if somebody needs something, I give it away. I ain't got no problem, you know.
Wow.
It's only material possessions. We can't take it with us.
I think a lot of us in this area, we carry extra, packs in our car or water or food just in case, a first aid kit. You never know, who you're going to meet or, who's going to need something, along the way. And so
I'm just thankful I was able to find this type of bike setup that, can do this. Not too many bikes can, haul and be able to do what I need to do.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of equipment. And I want to say that's the thing that I notice the most. And we're going to post up like your GoFundMe and your YouTube. We're going to post that up on our own website, and we're going to promote that as well, because you're really the only person I know besides Jennifer, who works for our city here, that even does anything like this. And then also, you help the homeless and other things. And
I would love to have one of these bikes for the city for Jennifer.
Yeah.
They are perfect.
She's in pretty good shape because she does a lot of walking. Yeah, she walks it.
Yeah, but when you do it in cars, the hardest thing is you got to stop, walk, stop, walk.
Yeah.
Whereas the bike, you can just keep continuous in one direction, just keep, doing larger areas.
It's eco-friendly too.
Yep.
Yeah.
This bike itself hauls a 500-pound load rating.
Wow.
So I can haul all my tools, everything I need to, it's got a truck bed if I need it.
Do people stop and just ask you about your equipment or?
Yeah. I get questions about the equipment, the bike, the trailer, all the different stuff.
That's really cool. And it's a chance, it's an opportunity to talk to somebody and help them out. And yeah. Do you ever have anybody that donates that just stops and say, hey, thank you for what you're doing?
I've had a couple $100 in donations of, 20 here, 10, 5, just different like that. And I've had a couple $100 on my GoFundMe.
Wow.
Which
that is
helps
incredible.
because I pretty much bear the brunt of everything right now on a
Yeah, you're
on a fixed
self-funded.
income.
Yeah.
So it's, it helps with, just the small things, the trash bags, that.
Wow. I wish more people had the volunteer spirit that you do. You see a need and you just went out and, not only did you see it, but you invested in it. And I would say that's really cool. I want to show maybe one more video clip, and then we'll get into some questions. We're really kind of unpacking, some of what you do and why. And so this was, this next video clip is just really outside here, just as you were coming up. And so I kind of wanted to share that. It's a video short. And they can see all of this stuff on your YouTube website, which we'll post that up. And that's the Litterman James.
Yeah, if you go back one page, actually, where we were just at, the far right video here is the before, and the one right next to it's the after.
Wow.
You can see in the video right there the difference in the...
Wow. There's the before.
Well, we can't forget this little location, since we are... Well, we did that up to where my blower is up there. Scraped off the moss. So let's get that. Well, we can't forget this little location. Since we are... Well, we did that up to where my blower... There's the one right next to either one of those, yeah. Okay. After video for one of my other little shorts.
Nice.
Area that I scraped off and curb edge blown off.
So much cleaner.
And where this location is, Big Lot, McDonald's, Covington
That's us.
Community Church.
Wow. So cool.
I did the same thing across the street from the fire department.
Yeah.
And a few other places on videos.
You can see the lines where everything was before.
It's funny, kind of there's an element of
Sidewalks
what you
blown
do
off,
just because you're in
edges
traffic
into
often
the
or
street
nearby.
curves and all that
You're
blown
constantly
off.
having to watch traffic because, like, every time I need to use the blower and blow something off the street or back on the sidewalk and like that, you're constantly having to keep your eyes on the
Hope our
swivel.
bumblebee
Wow.
didn't die, but
So we just had one of my friends who just got hit, actually.
I see the edges
And,
how
yeah,
where they
I
were
want to say he had
before.
a pelvic fracture and the shoulder blowout.
That's why I'm very cautious. I'm always watching before I step anywhere outside.
Wow. It's nice to see everything in operation.
There are some roads I do where you have to be cautious because it's my shoulder. The
Okay.
only option you have is to step in the ditch when a car comes.
I want to show one more thing, and just so people get a feel for maybe working with people who find themselves without a residence. I think we often use the term homeless, but they're without a residence. They're without a place to stay.
I still occasionally use the word homeless, but I try to correct myself and I prefer to use unhoused.
Unhoused, which is a great term.
Yep.
And so we're going to roll back to maybe down here for May 30th. That was just last week.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that
Last
was
Saturday.
last Saturday.
The homeless volunteer feeding this week. This is near the end of it after everybody's pretty
They
much
do this
gone.
every Saturday.
After they've already
downtown
served
Canton, and it's
probably a couple
multiple
hundred
cities
meals,
repeating it here.
and all the lines
Now, what's the name
have
of this
died down.
ministry?
This one is Healing of Hearts.
The homeless volunteer
And they are
feeding
Healing
this
of Hearts
week.
on Facebook and
This is
Healing
near the end of it after
Hearts.org.
everybody's pretty much gone.
And they minister
After
and
they've
help
already
the
served
community.
probably a couple hundred meals, and all the lines have died down.
A couple hundred meals.
The home
Yeah, they've been averaging like 200 meals in 2 hours.
Wow. 200 meals in 2 hours.
And that's another thing I try to do too is every week I collect men's and women's clothing to take down hygiene items, sleeping bags, anything that, the people that are unhoused can use,
Yeah.
so because they provide clothing and stuff there too. So I'm in my community all the time putting out posts for, to pick up clothing and different things that they may need.
So do you find there's a lot of diversity in homelessness? That is, that there's a variety of reasons why people can end up without a home, without a house, without a community?
Yes, there's a big variety in it, and I've experienced it myself too when I was dealing with disability issues and fighting for that. So there's all kinds of people out there for different reasons.
It's not always drugs or unemployment. It can be a variety of reasons. Health.
Some people after they've lost a relationship, a mother, father can lose it.
Yeah.
They just they can't hold up anymore.
Yeah. It's funny, we take it for granted, but our modern life is not easy, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Sad one is when I see it was a couple weeks ago when she first appeared. It's 80, 90-year-old ladies that are homeless, and men, but people in their 80s or older, it's like, and there's no shelter. There's nothing around this area for them.
It's like seeing a homeless child or homeless teenager, which we don't see so much in our city, but if you go to Seattle, you'll see it, and seeing homeless elderly, they have no place to go, and they have multiple health issues, and there's really no safety net for them, and they may not have any family left at all alive.
I moved here from West Seattle in January, where I've lived for several years, so I experienced, I've seen a lot what they deal with there too, how they're trying to survive, people. They have some communities up there, a lot of communities in Seattle more oriented towards helping.
Yeah.
With the tent villages and, RV parking spots and more things to help people up there, but it's a bigger city.
Yeah, bigger city.
Bigger
Sometimes
resources.
bigger resources. Yeah, they have deeper pockets,
Yep.
and sometimes those resources, they're stretched too, of
Yeah.
course. There's. I work with some people in the Seattle community, Union Gospel Mission being one of them, and
My father used to work with them years ago.
yeah, and it's tough when you go to Seattle and you're trying to help.
Yeah.
You search and rescue, or other groups that are out there. Homelessness is a real issue. Drugs is a big factor, of course, for Seattle in this area, but that's not the only reason people are going to find themselves without a home.
A lot of it too. There's some. I've known quite a few people that are homeless basically because of the cost of living here. Because even if you got a decent job here, sometimes the cost of living can leave you out. If you can't afford, the rent, the utilities, but you got an income, so you have your RV or your tent,
Yeah. I have seniors that are leaving these communities just because it's too expensive to live here. And a lot of people move here for work or for jobs, but it's so expensive to get started, and housing costs being what they are, and then all of the other incidental expenses that it costs to live in a city or municipality, taxes, the commutes. People find it pretty tough and they fall through the cracks. They might not have a lot of resources here. And so, yeah.
Kent was the first city that I moved to when my family moved up here at 12 years old. First city I went to church in. It was, first city I went to high school in. So I moved back here. This is, my city.
Yeah.
I hadn't been here in a long time, but, I was like, I'm back.
Well, let me just dive right in and really ask my first question, and that is, what was the moment that made you pick up your first piece of litter? What was the first thing that kind of
I got
hooked
motivated
you?
I wanted to get into it, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. And what I guess really motivated me is I have another Facebook group that I'm a member of for quite a while that does that on a regular basis, and I always followed them. And basically, my motivation is a person that also does this is Eric Bell with a Cleaner Alki, which is on Facebook. They do this on a large scale. I'm myself one person. There are dozens, just tons of volunteers that go out and clean the community, clean up branches, clean up overgrown, ivy stuff off trees, and they do everything. And just watching them constantly do it, and it's like, as soon as I started getting better, my health started getting better. It's like, this is what I want to do. But I ended up moving down here before I could really get out and join their group and help them.
Yeah.
I've been friends with them and watching it, but it's like, okay, well, I'm down here and I'm by myself, So I started just doing it by myself before I got any city recognition, before I knew anybody. I would do it myself and then take it and, find a little garbage can, put it, I was collecting grocery bags and putting it in grocery bags and then just in the cans as I go down the road.
Wow.
And then eventually, I got connections throughout the cities.
Wow. So seeing other people motivated by what they do, and it's
Seeing what it does to the city, how much better it looks and, improvement, which helps because especially, animals get into it, especially if you're near waterways, other
yeah,
animals and small things, a duck can eat, a dog can eat, a bird can eat, get stuck in there, It's looking out for everybody.
yeah. One of the things that really is attractive about this community is actually the way it looks. Flowers and beauty bark and things like that. But a lot of times cities, they're not able to take care of it, or older people aren't, and it really starts to become run down, or people throw trash out of their cars, or, and it looks bad fast. And really, there's nobody to help make a city look beautiful. And when you don't look good, I would say that says something else about, it's funny how it can be a quality of life issue, but, when your city doesn't look good, it says a lot about maybe the health of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's what I love about this city. I work with Kent too, but they don't have what Covington has, which is the Random Acts of Cleanup program,
Yeah,
which has a bunch of volunteers. And then, they also provide you, the picker, the 5-gallon bucket, the garbage bags, what you need to do it, which not all cities have that action. And that's nice. That, that inspires more people to get out there and do it, if somebody's going to help them with a way to bag it and dispose of it.
here you see city leaders that go out, and
Exactly.
our
City
mayor,
employees,
city employees,
you
they'll
they've
go out,
adopted their own streets.
adopted their own streets. You'll see police officers. They'll come off duty, and they'll help pick up the city. I would say that's really exciting. Rotary Club. You have all kinds of boys and girls clubs that also do that as well. And it's always nice to see them. You'll see their vests out there. They'll pick up around Walmart or 272nd Kankangli, and it's really cool to see them out there. And I want to say it gives a certain sense of pride. And there was another thing too, and I learned this from our chief of police, Adam Easterbrook, and they have a thing called SEPTED. And when things are trimmed, clean, and neat, it also helps prevent crime. And that was something I hadn't really thought about. And so a lot of businesses and communities here, they clean up. It looks organized. It looks beautiful. And people don't really want to destroy that. And so, but that's something that you've done instinctively. You make our city look beautiful, and probably who knows how many crimes you helped prevent just because it looked well ordered and it looked nice. Nobody wanted to mess it up. Wow.
I tend to be OCD about the way things look. That's why I started off litter picking.
Yeah.
Now I scrape moss, scrape off, sidewalks and anything to just improve the looks of the city and the way, because you never know when you have a visitor or someone. It makes the city look better,
Yeah.
you know.
James, how did you get your name, the Litter Man?
That was something I came up with because to inspire people, basically, I was hoping, rather than just a name, a person's name out there really isn't much inspiration. Whereas this, if I can get it going good enough, I would love to have, I'm the litter man of Canton, Covington. I would love to have another person step up, litter man of Auburn, litter man of Renton,
Wow.
litter man of Seattle, make it a thing.
Wow.
If I ever had the money, I'd make a litter man foundation and get these bikes going with people all over.
It's funny, we were joking earlier, before we were doing this podcast, that there's a James Brigade. And but that's you too, man, because you're a James. And so people who fix, repair, build, clean up, and change people's lives. And but yeah, you're like an army of one, really across our area, and more than just Covington, but really throughout our area. And so you're always working on a project. There's always something that you're working on. And well, how many hours a week do you think that this commitment is? And I'd say it looks like it's more than 40, but
No, it's not. Actually, it's not really. It looks like it's a lot more than it actually is.
yeah,
But there's some weeks where health issues I can't do it. Some days I can't. But I try to be out there every day and at least do at least an hour. Sometimes less. But some days I may only get out and do it's a quick half-hour job. Or some days I'm out picking. It just all depends on the weather and how I'm feeling. I try to devote myself to it full time.
that's incredible. What neighborhoods do you think need the most attention? As you're going out, I'm sure that you're probably taking a look at, well, maybe I should go here, or maybe somebody will give you a call or say, hey, James, maybe you'll help us with this project. And I know that people ask you to do that. And so what does that look like? What areas do you think need your attention the most?
I think all areas. I think basically every area needs everybody's attention. I try to ride in different areas all the time. I've even put on my trailer, I've got a group I started called Help Litterman Keep Clean, where people can go post. If you have an area that's dirty and you want cleaned, put it in my group, post it up. I'll go volunteer, clean it up.
We're going to post up a lot of your stuff, and so we're going to put in a link from this podcast to your own website and to your YouTube. How can cities help you?
Well, City of Covington does great in helping. City of Kent does too with their Adopt a Street, but I wish every city would have something similar to the Random Acts of Cleanup. Provide the, like Kent, Covington already does it, provide the bags, the bucket, and a place for somebody to dump it. That would inspire more people because they have a way, because some people don't want to go out there and do it because then what am I going to do with it? Do I got to take it home?
Yeah.
I've already got a full garbage can every week. What do I, at least that's offering, hey, here's an incentive, we'll help you get rid of it, spend your time to do something positive to help the city.
Have to say our city is really good about clean up, clean safe. It's really an incredible thing in beautifying our city. And for a lot of people, they drive through our community or they shop here or something. But when you see it and you see people who are committed to it, that's really a great thing. And I would say it says a lot about our community.
And a lot of people realize too. There's all kinds of programs. There's Adopt a Street, Adopt a Drain, Adopt a Spot. I've got 15 drains adopted as it is now and 2 streets, and that doesn't include all the other just cleanups I do.
Yeah. So oftentimes, I think when you're out and you're by yourself, and you ever had a moment where you felt like, hey, maybe this isn't the safest community that I'm in right now? You ever had those moments where you felt like, hey, maybe this isn't safe, or
Sometimes I've had one time where a guy came up and confronted me. He was trying to act violent, but I've been able to usually overcome most people with peace.
yeah,
If you just be relaxed. I learned a long time ago it does no good to raise your voice and get back at them because you're aggravating the situation.
yeah, you
Just,
just
just
escalated
just
it.
yeah, just be peaceful. I've had all kinds of situations where I've had to deal with people, and I've had people that, even at the homeless feeding on Saturday, I had one guy, he hasn't been there lately, that kept trying to steal from my bike, going over near it and all this, and you just, certain things like that. But I don't look bad at him because everybody has either a mental health issue, something going on. I'm not going to judge him and you know, just try and prevent the problem and work with them. And
That's got to be a little bit discouraging, but in some ways, I want to say it's nice that you attracted somebody's attention, that you actually have something that somebody want to steal.
well, actually, a week and a half ago they did get me for I had an opioid overdose bag I keep. I if I run across somebody, I would prefer to be able to help them if they're going through a situation. Now I no longer have that option because someone needed it more.
Maybe we can find another
Yeah.
one for you,
Oh
but
yeah, I got to find a couple of Narcans again, but
yeah,
yeah, I like to keep stuff like that on me. Besides the water, the snacks, other stuff. So
that's something
if
I
I run
didn't
into a
know.
situation and you see someone overdosing, it's either stand there and do nothing or call 911 or hey, wait, I got some stuff right here.
Yeah.
Let me help this person.
It's funny because there's a lot of people that travel with Narcan in the car just
You
for
know,
that reason.
yeah, you may never need it,
May
but
never
it
need
always
it.
feels good that one time you've saved someone's life.
Yeah. That's incredible. I didn't know that you actually carried Narcan.
What I used to do is I
Well,
had
now
a
you don't, but
yeah. In some of my videos, you'll see it used to be hanging on the front on my handlebars. I had a carabiner, and it's just a blue bag with a couple of Narcans and a face mask, and hanging there. And that was my mistake. Just leave it hanging with the
yeah,
carabiner. But if they needed it, the way I look at it, if someone needed it that bad, I hope it helped them.
yeah.
I hope it works out what they need it for. If they need it to save them or someone else, I'm not going to begrudge.
So, how do you help people who are experiencing homelessness or not having a place to be? Because I know it's a particularly unsafe, you know, um, for the person that's going through that. I think sometimes when you're helping, it's kind of like helping a drowning person. You're in there with them, and they need help. They need all kinds of help. How do you navigate that? How do you, not only give people hope, but how do you help them maybe navigate not having a place to stay, not having permanency, or maybe not even, having somebody to talk to in a whole day?
Resources help people find resources what they need. I mean, I eventually my goal is if I can get everything going good enough, I would love to be able to provide stuff to help them: tents, sleeping bags, hygiene items. I would distribute that out during my day too and video it, but I'm just financially not in that situation yet. Eventually I will get there, but just a lot of it's resources, where you can go, where the shelter is, where a community center is, because a lot of them, especially if they're new in the community, they don't know if you can go to the YMCA to get a shower. They don't know if
Yeah,
you can go to the community center. They don't know where the libraries are, the places to get out of the weather. But I would love to be able to help them more than I do. But currently, it's a lot of with resources and letting them know where they can go get a meal on Saturday mornings, where they can go get clothing. Just help them, guide them along to where they need to. A lot of times, it's slow and steady wins the race.
yeah,
Because a lot of times, you're not going to get to someone the first time you talk to them. But every Saturday when you come back, every week or every time you see them, you're constantly talking to them, dealing with them. You'll eventually, you got a good chance of winning them over because people have to build up trust in you most times.
What's the resource that you think we lack the most? If you could talk to maybe churches or other nonprofits or even city leaders, what would you say would be the one thing that would help?
Resources to help basically overnight shelter for the homeless,
Yeah,
feed in overnight. I was in Puyallup years ago when I worked with them down there, and they had an organization that basically went out with buses and picked up the homeless. They'd meet, like you'd say James Street parking lot, I'd be here on this day at this or at this time, and they would show up every night, pick them up, and bus them to different churches. Where people from the church, someone will stay there and monitor them, but they'd feed you, give you, a place to sleep for the night and everything, and in the morning bust you right back down to where you're at. So at least you're out of the weather. Because like Kent area and Covington, none of this area has shelters. There's not really any place to really for the homeless around here.
It's a shame, and other people have tried it, and with little success. And I know Kent has just lost a few of its community supports for homelessness in particular, shelters, and I want to say there's a few nonprofits that are now no longer there, and it's been that way probably since last year. And so it's getting smaller. The resources are getting smaller, and not the lack of housing and the lack of getting people off the street is a pretty tough thing. And yeah, not having a home is still a problem.
There's even some places that have resources, like if you find homeless people that want to get back to like family, there's some places that have, resources to get them a bus ticket, get them a plane ticket if they want to, because some people may just be homeless because they're not near support. They might not have anybody here, so those resources to help them at least get to back to near their family where they have a place to stay, shower, look for work, resources.
One of the things that we talked about doing here in this community, and we helped put together some resources for women and children, and they're kind of in scarcity too, but we actually have some resources here, like Vine Maple Place, and there's a few other organizations that help children. And I see homelessness, my vision of homelessness here in our area is an 8-year-old with their mom in a car, and she works sporadically, but they can't afford, any kind of housing whatsoever. But man, that's not our only scenario, and so we definitely need more opportunities, places where people can shower, and just like you said, that's a challenge.
Or even places like you're talking about the mother with a child.
Yeah,
Even places where they have a safe spot.
safe spot.
There's some programs where they have safe parking spots.
Yeah,
Where people can park and be safe.
yeah.
Not have to worry about someone coming up messing with her or kid at night or.
We just have one in our area, and we have plenty of parking. Walmart, I think a lot of people are, know well that
Yeah.
Walmart, Fred Meyer's, people often park there, and cars or vans, and the stores welcome it actually, which is kind of nice. They don't chase them off.
And another one I've noticed too is James Street Park and Ride, where we do the homeless
James
feed
Street
on
Park and
Saturday
Ride.
mornings.
Yeah,
They're pretty much not having a problem with the cars and the people there, as long as you're not creating a nuisance.
we need more people to do what you do, and that is to just basically go out and help people. And we need housing. We need housing for people who need it.
That's what God in the Bible commands us to do.
That's right.
To be good stewards to help our fellow man.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So, how has this changed the way that you see church, cities, and just people in general? How has your service kind of changed maybe your view?
I'm not sure if it's really my service that changed my view, is because my view has been changing. I was the prodigal son for a long time. I did my own thing, wasn't gonna. I just, when I started doing this and everything, it's just I had the drive to get back into church, to go out and start doing stuff in the community. It just because I've always just basically been more at home because of just, health issues and stuff like that. And now I want to be out there.
That's amazing. I think a lot of times when we start something, we have an idea about what is that going to look like, and then we start to do it. It kind of opens our horizons, really. We see more opportunity, and I feel like you're a person that did that. You started out with something simple. Hey, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to help this community, or maybe this church or this program. I'm going to start, and I'm going to do what I can do. And then you saw other needs that you began to meet, and maybe you can elaborate on that, how your involvement kind of led to some deeper things, like Narcan kits and, packing extra water. And
I don't know, I always feel inspired to help people. As the Bible says, to help our fellow man. we're supposed to be out there doing good for the community. So it just inspires me to, to actually know that if I can inspire others to do the same thing, if they see that, you doing this every day, some people, it just takes seeing others, inspire, getting inspiration from others.
So now I'm going to kind of maybe go to something lighter, something different, and ask you, what's the thing that you cleaned up that you were surprised that, oh, I'm going to clean this up, and maybe you wouldn't have done it 10 years ago or even last week, but something that you picked up that was like, okay, that's a challenge. I don't know if I want to pick this up, but I'm cleaning it up. Can you think of a time that?
Dead cats.
Wow.
Dead pets.
I was going to say maybe it's
There's
something
only
dead.
one that I left behind recently, and it was because my stomach was not having a good day. It was like, I can't, but I did, try to get it off the road into the shoulder. But yeah, I am, if I see a dead animal, I prefer to scoop it up and bury it properly somewhere.
Yeah.
Just that was someone's pet.
Yeah.
That got out, whatever, and I have pets. I always adopt senior cats. I had adopted a senior cat, had her for year and a half, 2 years. She passed away. And then it's been a year and a half that I've had my new one now. And the people that I got my first one, actually, Christians, that I met on Facebook, actually took me down to the shelter to get the other one because they saw how I did with this one. And I love senior cats and older cats. And so.
Wow. I knew that for what you did, that you're going to see a little bit of death on the road.
Yep.
And so dead cats, dead pets.
Yep.
And I can't even imagine how many squirrels or birds that you might see on a daily basis.
Yep.
And for them to get a decent burial from you, you're a little bit of a mortician as well, man.
I believe in, basically sparing, being helpful with all life. I mean, as you've probably seen before, I've got a paralyzed bumblebee in the back of my trailer now that may have gotten hurt from, on one of my videos.
Can we pull up that video clip, Mike?
And I actually...
That was just today, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got sugar water in there, and he can't fly
Yeah.
or anything, so I've got him
Yeah.
trying to see if he'll make it.
That was really cool.
I
And
just-
All
The
the homeless
God's
volunteer
creatures.
meeting this week.
we'll see if we can't pull that up.
That would be one of the shorts.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, even a bee matters. And but you're going to see a lot of that along the way. And it's funny that, an animal can, have you run into any animals that are wounded or any pets that are wounded that needed medical attention?
Not yet, but I would probably end up having to try and find a vet around, and I have, it's been years, but I have in the past, and just take them to emergency vet. And
That one would be today, that video clip.
yeah, it
And
would
I
be
think
one
it's
of
a
these
short.
one of these two ones on the far right here. It would be one. It was in one of those. It's
Yeah.
in.
Well, this is just a little update. Remember
This
my
might be
little
it.
bumblebee friend back
Oh, this
there?
is it.
I got to get some sugar water, but
For some reason, it's not showing the.
Yeah, it's not
he's
showing
still
the bee.
alive.
Or the video.
He's
Yeah.
injured or something, so I'll get some sugar water and give him some time.
I noticed that on the last
Just
one.
because
It played
I
the sound,
wanna-
but the video didn't move.
Yeah.
Well, this
There we
is just
go.
a little update. Remember my little bumblebee friend
Oh, yeah,
back
this-
there? I got to get some sugar water, but
Oh, there he is, right there.
he's still alive. He's injured or something, so
He's moving too.
I'll get some sugar
Now he's
water
in a
and give
little
him some
dish with a
time.
napkin and a bottle cap with
Just
sugar
because
water.
I want to see how he
Man.
does. And I just found this nice, beautiful pull-off spot just to
Wow.
relax. I got to take a few hours off because my nausea is not doing good today. My head is not right. For those that don't know, I deal with a traumatic brain injury, and yesterday I couldn't go out. My head was just not right. That's why I can't drive, because I never know when I'm going to get vertigo or how I'm going to feel. Some days I can't get out and do what I want to do. I just got to stay home and deal with it. But I always make the best of it. I don't try to be negative or let it get me down. I've dealt with it for 18 years.
Yeah, we even got Proverbs 12:10 quoted on
18
there.
years of
Wow.
nausea and puking every single day. And I just make the best of it and keep rolling with the rolls.
It's
Nothing you can do.
pretty good philosophy of life.
What's
Well,
complaining
I
get you? It
mean,
don't get you nowhere.
why let negativity get you down? I mean, just
Yeah.
be positive. Keep
I would
going. I mean,
rather try and be just a
I'm always
positive
thankful
person and
because I'm alive.
uplift
I was told
everybody
18 and a half
and my
years ago when
community.
State Patrol and everybody saw the accident and me, I shouldn't have been alive.
Wow.
I hit a tree over 60 miles an hour,
Wow.
and I was told by everybody that should have ended me.
Wow.
So I'm always thankful that I'm still kicking and can do this.
Well, look how you giving back. That's incredible. I want to, my next question would have been, what keeps you motivated through this process? But I think I'll still ask that, what keeps you motivated through this process? And I mean, you've come through injury. I mean, you're navigating, your own health concerns, and yet you're still helping people, and even a bumblebee, that's incredible. A friend of the garden, certainly bumblebees are, and here in our state, man, we're watching some of our own resources like bees and like other animals, we're watching them lose their environments as well. And for you to even think about that is,
Well, I know how important bees are to the environment, but the last house, the Clean and Sober Transition House, when I moved in there, I had established two 8 by 20 gardens, and I knew the neighbors across the street had bees, so I know what bees do. They help my garden. I'm a avid gardener.
yeah,
They help the gardening. They help us, with everything in life. Like I was telling you earlier, that's one thing. No matter how smart man has been, we cannot pollinate stuff ourselves yet.
that's right. Yeah, that is not something
You
we can do, and they're essential. No, that was pretty cool. What do you wish that people understood about being unhoused or not having a home? What is it that you wish that people knew that they don't know that maybe you see and you could share with us?
To me, they're still humans. They're still people. They may have gotten addicted to a drug or whatever, but you don't always have a choice once you're addicted to something. They're still humans. They're still, I wish people would just treat people like they want to be treated. Like the Bible says, treat everybody right, respect everybody,
Wow. Now that's excellent.
love one another as I have loved you.
Oh, that's incredible. So, how has faith kind of led you down this path as well? That not only you look out for, the human beings and the flora and the fauna, but, how has faith kind of led you down this path as well? How's the Lord led you through this?
Just I'm in the faith to know that basically I can accomplish all things. That my father was a minister and my grandfather was a minister, so I was raised in the church. I was raised in a Pentecostal church, through Assembly of God churches and Church of Christ, and so I was raised in the church. My family was, my sisters, so we've all been raised around religion, and I just feel like a lot of what I'm doing is just enacting, like the Bible says, what's it? Faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
You can't just say I'm a Christian, and I'm, faith and all this without showing it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be nasty to people and call yourselves a Christian, you need to basically live like the Bible says. Respect everybody, treat everybody right.
Wow. So, how has your work helped deepen maybe some of your, faith partners, some of your friends, and how has your work kind of deepened some of that, and maybe even just your deepen your faith in the Lord? How has this helped you deepen your relationships?
Because a lot of them just knowing a lot of people out there the same way, like the Healing of Hearts Ministries, just seeing them every week, doing the same thing and knowing that they go out to multiple communities through King and Pierce County and do, so just, seeing that there's others out there that inspire me, people that have faith and are using their faith to bring others to faith.
So you talked about seeing other people go out and serve, and that was an inspiration for you. And so, what advice would you give somebody who's looking to do something similar, are finding a need in either their faith community or throughout the city, or maybe just some niche that they have that nobody else sees, how would you advise them to go forward?
Baby steps. That's what I started. Just start a little bit at a time. There's so many different things in the community that need to be done. I mean, just get out there and do it. I mean, even if you can only pick up a couple of pieces of trash. If you're disabled, pick up just a couple pieces of trash. You're getting out of your car, see a piece of trash, pick it up. Just be, I guess be a good steward of our community, of the faith, everything.
Um, so, what moment are you the most proud of, James? If you could look back at this and say, you know what, I'm glad that I'm doing this, and this moment kind of solidified it. What moment are you maybe the most proud of, or what contribution?
Probably just I seeing others inspired by it, like the James Street Parking Ride, for instance, where they hold the meals on Saturday mornings. This last Saturday morning when I got there, I get there and I'm cleaning the parking lot as normal, right around that area, and I look up and I see another person over here cleaning, then I see a picker over there cleaning, and pretty soon I look around, there's like 20 or 30 people out there cleaning the parking lot. And then it was that right there. It's just like I had to go up and talk to them. It's like, what? You guys are basically in my territory. You're cleaning something I normally do, and
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
But it was just Washington State geocachers that said they come through there once a month too.
Wow,
There's so many different organizations out there doing the same thing,
wow.
just trying to keep our community clean.
And it's not something that you would think about. What about for those that are homeless, those who feel hopeless? How do you feel like you being out there has inspired them?
Show them there's always something you can work towards. Like I was telling a homeless guy the other day. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time saying what I mean, but it was basically explaining to him that I've been there. I've been homeless. If you just keep working at it, do the right thing. Keep working at it.
Yeah.
Everybody changes. In a couple of years, you could be in my situation. I could be in your situation. Everything changes. I just try to inspire them to always do the right thing. And plus, show them, if you do the right thing, there's always people out there that are, going to appreciate you for it.
I kind of want to close with this piece of scripture, and it's back to Matthew 25, 35 through 40. And it's funny, it's not a poem, but it kind of reads that way, doesn't it? It reads as a nice way of looking at life and how to help others, and how to follow a call, which you did. You saw a need and you filled it, and really without any resources other than just your faith, your determination, and just your desire to make it a better place than you found it. And so here's that piece of scripture again. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to see me. Truly I say to you, as you did it for the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did it for me. I'm going to say that's what you've done for us, James.
Every time I think about stopping or give it up, there's one thing always runs through my head, just one line. If not me, then who?
That's right.
And as far as I'm not big on money. I've never been a greedy person, never cared about money. I will say this, I do have my Amazon wish list on a lot of my stuff. And if people get me the stuff to give out to the homeless, the sleeping bags, the tents, I will distribute it on video. I just need some resources to be able to, get out to the people.
Yeah. James, you're an example to all of us, to change our world, to go help somebody, to leave it better than you found it. And I want to say you're an inspiration. I'm so glad that I met you on the road, and really right across the street, man. I saw you out there, and I immediately knew that you were a person with a calling.
But I had known you ahead of time before that.
Wow.
I had already been following you because part of my faith is Messianic Judaism.
Yeah.
And I had already been looking at this church and coming here and stuff like that.
Wow.
But I was cleaning in the area when you came out that one day, and it's like, I really need to just do this.
It was a divine
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
man, for sure. James, you're an inspiration. And I just want to thank you for being on this podcast, for really sharing what you do. And you are an inspiration. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story and your life with us and sharing life with people out there on the road. People without homes, people with homes, you know, and people who just need some encouragement. And you are all that, brother. I want to say thank you again to our audience for being on this podcast with us, for sharing James's story. And what an inspiration you are. And so I would say like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for bringing this story to us. God bless you, and shalom.